I want to speak to the mom listening who's ever wondered if her past disqualifies her from parenting well. If you grew up with emotional gaps, unspoken wounds, or a fear of repeating what you didn't receive, this conversation is for you. Welcome back to another episode of Nailed It Motherhood podcast. I am your host with the most, Tamara Eldridge, and I am so glad that you are joining us again today. Our guest today knows the journey of silence to avoidance to awareness very intimately. And today she wants to share with you how she, now a mother of 2 sons, let open communication, grace, and emotional safety guide her parenting over perfection. I'm very excited about this topic, y'all. Her story is a powerful reminder that healing and parenting can coexist and that you don't need all the answers to build something better. So please, let's welcome our beautiful guest, Paula, and in my head it's Dr. Paula Banks today.
Thank
Hi,
you so much.
welcome to the
Hi,
show.
how are you? Thank you.
I'm
Thank
so
you.
wonderful. You are welcome.
Yes. Thank you for having me. As Tamara said, I'm Paula Banks. I am a children's book author and the owner of a publishing company, Eon Books Publishing. I have 2 sons, Elijah and Zion, and parenting them has been my biggest blessing and joy, especially since I came from not knowing if I wanted to have children. Well, let me say knowing that I didn't want to have children. And it wasn't because I didn't want them per se. It's because I was not confident that I could give them the love that I didn't receive from having an absent parent. So I'm excited to talk about this evening. This would be really my first time talking about this topic, because usually I don't speak on the absence of my father and things of that nature. So this will be, it's nerve wracking a little bit, but I know that this conversation is something that I know could help other moms and other women out there.
Well, I am very glad that you chose Nailed It Motherhood podcast to share your story. I do resonate, as my father was absent and I did not have a thorough chance to repair that gap per se. But that actually will lead us to our Tavi tale. But before we actually get to that, I led with today's opener because of one thing that you said, which really stood out to me when you applied. So I would really love to read you back those words and just kind of ask you to give us a little bit more. Well, you kind of did, but just kind of give us a little bit more insight of where were you when you said these words before we get into our Tavi tale today, if that's okay with you.
That's fine.
Awesome. Thank you for your permission to share your words back with the audience. The words that you shared were, healing doesn't just happen in silence. It happens when we start naming what hurt us and how we're learning to rise from it. And whew, that was such a powerful phrase right there. I had to pull it out and I needed to say, this has to be elevated.
Yeah, like I said, I was never one to talk about the pain that I felt with my father, especially when I got older, because I felt like I should be over it. I'm almost 50. I should be past that. I should have just been like, he wasn't there, so be it. But it just kept festering and coming up, and I had to face it. I had to acknowledge the pain. I had to really admit that I was hurt from his absence. And then that's when I was able to start healing, and start giving myself grace that I wasn't over not having a father. But I had to acknowledge the pain. I had to acknowledge the wound that has been with me for the last 48 years. It was hard, but I had to do it in order to free myself. um, and just be a better parent to my sons, even though my sons are older. I'm still their mother and they still need me. Maybe not in the same ways, but there was so much baggage that I was holding from missing that relationship. Um, I think that when I was able to actually admit that I was hurt and that I was just it just crushed me as a little girl not having her father. When I started to heal, I became a better mom.
I love that. I absolutely love that. Um, and so before I actually say our Tavi tale, which I think kind of fits now that I'm listening to you, um, those words remind me of a kind of a framework, if you will, that I've come up with for some of my live events that I'm trying to schedule down the line. And it's whole. Whole when healing out loud exists, wholeness occurs. So that's really what I'm trying to push. Being able to share these hurt, these moments of hurt and these moments of pain and how it impacted you with other people, because that storytelling piece
Yes.
really allows that wound that we've allowed to just sit there to kind of mend itself by sharing that story. So I believe whenever that quote kind of sat in front of me when I read your application, I just was like, wow, when you are able to name the hurt, you can really begin
Yes.
to rise up from the ashes. So I thank you for sharing that. I really think
Thank you.
if we leave with nothing today, that quote is something that I want our listeners to walk away with. So, with that being said, I am going to go into our Tavi tale. It's a little lighthearted, but still in the same token of healing. And today's Tavi tale is called Gap Bridger. And I have always kind of admired my daughter's social butterfly idness, if you will. She has the ability to talk to and connect with anybody, and sometimes it can be exhausting. I can remember when she was really little and we were in grocery stores, and she would just look at people and just start talking to them. And I was so annoyed because I just wanted to get in there and do what I had to do, get my groceries and be out. And she was like, hi, and just
Yes.
wanted to start talking to people. It didn't matter what they looked like. It didn't matter how old they were. It didn't matter. And recently, over the holidays, this past transition between 25 and 26, we went to visit my grandmother and my aunt, who are older. My mom is no longer with us. So my mom would have been in her mid 60s. And but my daughter, 6 years old, can sit down with my aunt and have a full blown conversation, who is also in her 60s. And she can sit down with my grandmother, who is almost 90 years old, and play any game with her and just laugh it up with her and just enjoy that time with her and hold a full blown conversation with her without even thinking twice about this lady is 90 years old. She just loves that connection. And I was taking a lot of pictures, but then I would look back at that picture and be like, that is an amazing skill to be able to be 6 years old and sit down with an 87-year-old woman and just laugh it up and joke it up. And I'm getting emotional. And I always laugh and say that I'm a Christian thug, but it is an emotional moment to be able to see my child connect to two generations above me and just heal the broken space, the vacancy that's there, that my mom isn't there. My grandmother hurts so much whenever she knows that she can't come to my mom about things. And I hurt because I can't go to my mom about raising my child, but my daughter
Of course, yes.
can talk to my grandmother. And it's like, even though my mom isn't here, there's still that bond. and she can just talk to anybody. So I just call her the gap bridger because it is an amazing skill to have, to just be able to connect
It
white
is.
people to black people, to be able to connect young people to old people. And I do have that skill as well, but to see my 6-year-old also carry that skill is amazing. So thank you for listening to my Tavi tale. With that being said,
Well,
I am
thank you for
very
sharing.
thrilled to hear how you are so welcome. I'm very thrilled to hear how you have healed and are healing for your children in the absence of your father, because I can imagine the dynamic raising two boys. So I'm going to fall back and I'm going to give you the floor, and I want you to take it away and
Okay.
share your personal parenting journey.
Okay. So, as I said before, I grew up with just my mom and my brother. My mom was a single mom, and my father was not in the household. He was around. I would see him, you know, but we didn't really have a relationship per se. He had more of a relationship with my brother because my brother was in athletics. He was in baseball and basketball. So, he was really good at it. So he gravitated towards him. I can remember seeing my father and just being so scared of him, not because he was scary, just because I didn't really know him. I wanted him to be my father, be a father, but I just would get so nervous around him. Um, as I grew up, as time went on, the relationship was still really non existent. He would give money here and there if I needed it. If I saw him, the usual, how are you doing in school? But again, there was no real relationship. One thing that I think that I have hurt a lot from is because I so badly wanted to be a daddy's girl. I so badly wanted to have that daddy bond, the secret handshakes and, the daddy and daughter dates. I wanted that so bad. And when I got older, it went from I miss you to me really not liking him because he was depriving me of something that he could freely give me. Um, and from that moment on, I pretty much acted as if he was dead. I didn't, people asked me, I would say he was dead about my father because I didn't even want to, I was just so hurt to the fact that somebody could have a child who wants to have a relationship with them but doesn't want to return that back. I didn't understand how you could do that. So I just pretty much I just didn't speak about him. But me not speaking about him didn't ignore the pain that I was still feeling and have carried this pain with me into my adult life. And at some point, I'm not really sure where it came. I just knew that maybe I shouldn't have children. Um, and it wasn't because I didn't want to have children. It's because I did not want to take the chance that I would have a child and abandon them like my father did me. I didn't know if it was something that could be passed down from me or something. I didn't know. That may sound crazy, but that's how fearful I was to have a child and just not be there for them. So in my mind, it would be easier just, don't even have a child. You don't have to worry about it. But that changed. I met my husband. Of course, he wanted kids. Um, and I got pregnant and I was petrified because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know if I would be a good mother. I didn't know if I would be like my father. I didn't know if I would be the type of person I would be towards my child like he was towards me. Um, I did a lot of praying, a lot of praying. My husband was great. And I had my first son, who is Elijah. He'll be 25 in April. And I learned a lot. I didn't know a lot being a first time mom. But one thing I did know is that once I saw my child, there was no way that I could leave him or abandon or disown. There was no way I could do that. Um, and on some level, I thought that, okay, I had my child, I'm never leaving him. I thought that would heal something in me, but it just made it kind of worse. It really made me more angrier. Again, I was still angry. Like, I have my own child now. I would do anything for my child. There would be no way I could leave him. And again, my father doesn't even care if he spoke to me a day in his life. Um, so I was still dealing with that anger. And I didn't know what to do with it. So I just suppressed it. I just put it down. I try not to think about it. Um, and I went on with my life. But it didn't, it kept coming back up. So this past year, um, I really started, focusing on my walk with Christ and just really getting closer to Him. And it has been wonderful. But one thing was happening was these old wounds kept coming back up. This old wound was there, and for me, I thought I had healed, but I did not. I wasn't healed at all. I just suppressed the anger and the disappointment of not having my father. And as I'm getting closer to Christ, all these things are coming to the surface. I mean, coming to the surface. So I'm here at 48 years old, or at that time, maybe 46, 47, and I'm still dealing with abandonment issues, still dealing with why my father didn't want me, why he didn't want a relationship with me, just all these questions. And then I was mad at myself at this point now because I'm like, why are you still upset over someone who clearly showed you who he was a long time ago? So I didn't know what to do with these emotions because I didn't know. I felt, in one hand, I felt just ridiculous, still worrying about a man who doesn't care about you. But then on the other hand, I was still the little girl who was waiting for her dad to come and pick her up and give her hugs and just do all those things. I was still waiting, so I was fighting two things, and it really took a toll on me. Like, it really took a toll on just my mental, and I didn't know what else. I didn't know what to do. So at this point, I just knew that I had to pray and pray, and I prayed and I prayed, and I had to come to grips that I had to deal with this pain, and I had to heal. Um, I needed to forgive him for myself, regardless of if whatever he did, because I was being held hostage with these feelings and these emotions. Um, so one day I got his phone number from one of my mom's old friends, and I called. We had a conversation, and I forgave him. And I told him, like, if this is me reaching out, this is the last time that I'm going to try. I've been trying for years. I've been trying. And he was like, yes, we're going to do this. It's going to be great. And that was probably 8 years ago. I have not spoken to him since. Even then, I gave him another chance, even when I didn't want to. But it was still that little girl in me that was leading. She was leading, not the adult in me. It was a little girl in me still leading. And I gave him a chance, an opportunity. And I told him, if you don't reach out to me and show me and give me effort, then we would never speak again. And we have not spoken again. And I can't say that I'm surprised, but I am still healing from that wound still. And I don't know if it will ever be completely healed. Um, I don't, some days I'm good, and then some days I can see a little girl and their father walking, and it will break my heart, literally, because that's something that I know that I'll never get an opportunity to have. I mean, I know I have a heavenly father who loves me, um, and I am his daughter. And that is right. That is enough. Because I can't continue to wish for something that I know that's not going to happen. Um, so yeah, I'm still healing. Um, and I think through this healing process, I've become a better parent to my sons. Even when they were smaller, I always made it a point to say, I love you, to speak life into them. And to this day, I say I love you to them at least 20 times a day, and they say it back. And I just always wanted them to know that I would be there for them. Um, but yeah, pain. The thing that I don't understand is that parents need to understand when you have a child and you are not in their lives, it affects them. It does not just affect them as being just a child. It literally carries into to adulthood. It affects decisions that they make. It affects the type of relationships they're in, and it really does a number on them because it has done a number on me. For that one piece of my life, something that a person was supposed to do didn't do, and it took my life in so many different directions because of the decisions that I made from this one person who didn't do his job. Um, but yeah, healing. I learned that you have to address it. I wish I would have addressed the wound and the heartache earlier, um, and not have kept it in for so long. I think it would have been beneficial for me to do that, but at that time, I just didn't. I didn't have the bandwidth to really. I didn't have it in me. You know, I was just so angry, and I didn't want to be an angry parent. I didn't want to be an angry wife for something that my family didn't have any part of. So I just suppressed those feelings. But on the flip side of things, I, as I have acknowledged the pain and the hurt and given myself grace to still feel it, even at the age that I am now, um, it's okay. I've learned it's okay. You know, that was a wound. It's a wound. That was a big wound that it's not going to take a year. May not take 5 years, but I am healing. I'm in active healing from that wound that I have been suffering with since I was born. Um, and I don't think people really understand those who have both parents, who had a father. I don't think they really understand how devastating it is to not have a father, that male figure present in your life. And sometimes when I speak even just a little about the situation, I get choked up or I start to cry or I just like right now I'm tearing up because it's still a wound. It still hurts. Um, and I think that I have to continue to give myself grace to heal. Um, but I know that if I did not address my wound and the things that I've been holding down, I wouldn't be able to do the things that I'm doing now with writing and my publishing company and just so many things that I have done and accomplished. I think that if I didn't free myself by forgiving him And I forgave him, even though I'm still healing. I had to forgive him. I mean, just because I forgave him doesn't mean the wound does not go away. The pain doesn't automatically go away. Um, I had to forgive him so I can be free to do the things that God has put me on this earth to do. And I speak about voice and using your voice, kids using their voice to share their stories. Very important because I was very shy, as I said before, very introverted. I didn't use my voice. I didn't speak up. And I wish I would have been able to tell him and articulate to him how he's hurt me and how, I wish he could be a better father. But I couldn't because I didn't use my voice. I didn't know how valuable my voice was. And that is why that is why now I am so emphatic about children using their voice to tell their stories, to gain confidence so they never shrink for anyone. Um, but yeah, that is my story of my journey for healing with my father and how I am currently healing. And it's like I said, it's hard some days, but I give myself grace. I have a wonderful family. I have two beautiful boys, my mother, my sister. I have a community. Um, I have great friends, and the love that my father didn't give me, I get it 20 times more from the people in my life. But there's always a part of me that still wishes I could be a daddy's girl um, with my earthly father. But I don't know when that little piece will go away. It may never go away, but I choose to not live and sit in that pain and wallow in self pity. I had to move forward and still live my life and still enjoy life. Um, and I have a great life. God has been amazing to me. I'm blessed. I'm healthy. I'm happy. And it's just something that I will just continue to address, continue to work through, and continue to strive to be the best person, the best mom, the best husband, the best wife that I can be. And that's what my focus is now. And the healing is still happening, but life is still moving. And we're just walking this journey together, healing and healing and living. That's what I'm doing, and it's okay if you are hurting or if you are in relationship or if you have parenting or abandonment issues. You can heal and still live at the same time. You can still continue living your life and still healing and nursing those wounds. Um,
I want to take the time to pause and say thank you for your vulnerability.
I'm sorry.
Because one,
I
I
knew I
know
was going
that
to end
this
up
is
talking.
not a story. You're fine. I know that this is not a topic that you usually share publicly. So I know
Yes.
that that's hard. Um, so I appreciate you sharing because it is important. It is important. And I can tell you it's important because, like I said earlier, that was me too. When you said that you yearned to be a daddy's girl, I used to think that. Um, so I am one of four living sisters, five sisters altogether.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to always wonder, was I the one who would have been the closest with my dad? Um, but I didn't have that opportunity to find out because my dad chose not to be present. Um, and interestingly enough, I was going through my Facebook messages recently and I asked him before he passed away, what happened. And I was very, very forward with him. Like, I mean, I don't want to hear
Hmm.
any more of your excuses. Tell us what happened. And there's no need to lie because I'm an adult and blah, blah, blah. And so that's neither here nor there. But I did ask. And it was just, okay, you shouldn't have been in that predicament in the first place. But now I have an answer. Um, but, you know, I do want to
It's
say
rough. It's rough. And you don't really get.
it is, it's very rough. Um, yeah, parents or kids need their parents. Kids need both of their parents.
Absolutely.
Um,
I don't think parents realize
and let's
sometimes
be
the
honest.
effects, especially like parents.
Hmm. And then there are so many unanswered questions that, you know, as personalities are developing, as maybe health issues arise, and if you don't have both parents to answer them, it's hard, you know. Um, but
Exactly.
I have two questions. I have two questions for you.
Okay.
Um, and the first question, if you were completely whole in your fully healed state, what would Paula, I almost did it again. I almost said, what would Dr. Paula, what would Paula Banks healing look like?
Healing would look like for me being completely whole, like completely healed in a perfect world. Is that what we're saying?
From this wound.
Oh, okay. Whew, completely healing for me. I don't know. I don't. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not really sure because I know. I think the only thing that could probably heal me completely would me to have a relationship with him, or I guess get what I wanted. But I know it's not gonna happen. Um, I don't know. I can't say that I will ever be completely healed from this wound. I can't even say if there is anything that would heal me unless it was me being having a relationship with him, a whole good, true father daughter relationship. Um, I think that would be the only thing that would completely heal me. And I think I'm going to be healing from this wound forever, honestly. I mean, I know that may sound negative, but that's how I feel. Like, I feel like it's just going to be an ongoing thing of me healing piece by piece. The wound is so big. It's been all these years. I mean, it would take a long time for me to just get over it. Um, I don't know if I ever will be
Yeah.
completely over it. I mean, it really has affected my life and just in so many ways. So I don't know if I'll ever truly heal. It gets a little easier sometimes. You know, I'm glad that I have a husband, I have kids, I have people who love me. So that makes it,
Mm-mm.
it makes it doesn't sting as much, I guess. But there are moments where it devastates me still. So I don't know. I mean, that is a question to think about. Like, if I never get, let me say, I'll never get that from him. What would, how would I, what would heal me? And I guess that's something that I need to think about because I don't really have an answer of what except us having a true father daughter relationship.
So that I mean, your response kind of is transparent. I mean, it's your honest response, and you know I value authenticity, so I appreciate that. So I guess it lends to my next question, uh, an adjusted question then from my first question, but also leads into the second question that I had. So what then are you doing to heal now, and what what do you want from What do you want to feel? What do you want to see other than the end goal, the relationship? Like, what from your body do you want to experience?
Um, so what I'm doing now for healing is reading, getting into the Word, talking to God about what I'm going through, and just journaling a lot, writing a lot, just getting my feelings out, which really helps tremendously. Um, and
Hmm.
I think I just want, if I can't have the end goal, I mean, I think I just want to, I don't know, I guess learn to just, I don't want to say just live with it, but I guess learn not to be so angry with, put it like this. I want to stop blaming myself for him not wanting to have a relationship with me, because in my mind it's my fault that there was something wrong with me because he wanted a relationship with my brother and not with me. So that is something that I am working through because I know it's not my fault. But as a child, you're thinking like, well, he doesn't want to be bothered with me. What's wrong with me? And I kept that. I kept that throughout my whole entire life. So that is what I would love to heal.
Yes.
That part, I would love to just completely heal from that and say, it's not my fault, and really believe it. Like in my mind, I know like it's not your fault, but I'm still in that little girl space. Like there's something you did, or you weren't this, or you weren't that. And that's why he doesn't want to have a relationship with you, because as a kid, you can't really rationalize why you have a sibling. He's there for him. He's, it talks about him. He's great in sports. And then you have me, and you're just like, what about me? So you internalize that.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. So
Yeah.
I would love to heal from that lie that it was my fault why he didn't want to have a relationship with me, because it's not.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely not your fault. And so that was one of the questions that I had. But before I had that question, I do want to put the disclaimer on because I'm not a therapist. I wish so much that I knew the strategies and the techniques, that because I would love to just sit here and be able to really give you some tools to try to walk you through some of those hurts. I wish I could. I wish I had studied that. And what are the best methods to talk to your inner self? But um, I do have a question, but you would have to talk to somebody who really is an expert, because I don't want anybody who's listening to think that I'm giving you bad advice. But have you ever considered writing a letter to your younger self? And just real and have you ever done it? Not just have you considered it,
Um,
but have you ever done it? I know you
no,
say you like to journal, but have
I
you
wrote,
really?
no, I've never written one to my younger self. I've written one to my father. I just wrote everything that I wanted to tell him, um, just to get it out. But I've never wrote
Mhm.
one to my younger self. And I think that would be great. That would be amazing. I think I'm going to try that. But I have
I
wrote one to my
wonder.
family.
I was just wondering what it would look like if you wrote from both angles. Like, just, I'm angry with you because this is your fault. And then this is not your fault. And got everything out in two different letters and just
Yeah, that would be
released
great.
it.
I have a lot. I think the little girl in me needs, she definitely needs to speak, because like I said before, I didn't talk. I mean, I spoke, but I didn't, I just kept what I wanted, my feelings inside. So I think she needs to let out what she needs to say. The little girl in me needs to let that out because
Yeah.
that's a lot that I'm holding on to. The older me is angry. Like the older me can say it. Like if I saw him right now, I'd be like, but there's still that little girl in me that is, she's still stifled. She still hasn't said what she wanted to say ever. You know, I went from holding everything in as a child
Yeah.
to being an adult and just being mad. So it just never came out. So I think that would be really great to write a letter to my younger self. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome. I really hope that that is a starting point to being able to get what you want from
Yes, that would
that
be great.
healing cycle that you're going through. And I would love to hear if it works. I would love to hear if it
Thank
works.
you.
Because if it does work, I
Yes, I will
might try it
definitely
myself.
share because I'm definitely going to write that.
Shoot, I don't
It's
even
going to be
have
a
to
long
wait. I
one,
can
I'm
try it
sure.
myself. What am I doing? um, what is your relationship like with your brother?
Yes, I got a lot.
Did you all get along?
I mean, I love my brother. Yeah, we got along. I mean, I would say we're close. He lives in New York still. I'm in Virginia. Um, we talk. I mean, he has his own issues, but overall, we have a good relationship. I mean, he's my brother. He's my older brother. So we're cool. We don't have, I mean, him and my dad to this day are
Yeah.
still cool. Like one time my brother called me because I have other siblings, like he's had siblings. So he had a dinner, um, with all his children. So my brother calls me and he FaceTimed me and he was like, oh, we're all here. And I'm just like, I'm the only one who's not there. And that crushed me. But I just moved on. I kept it going, like, again, rejected, abandoned in my adulthood. So, I this is just what it is. But I mean, I don't blame my brother. I mean, they just have that relationship. I'm not sure,
Yeah.
and he tries to like, what's wrong? He doesn't do that. My brother tries to push us together, but this is my experience with him. You have a totally different experience, so you don't really see, um, yeah, I don't, me and my brother were cool, but my dad is just, I don't know. I don't know what it is with me. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I try not to, and like really, like,
Um,
I try not to just, I have to stay in rooted, like, it's not your fault. It's not your fault.
yeah. It sounds like, I mean, I feel like this might be an obvious statement, but it might not be an obvious statement to some people, but it sounds like there's clearly something in him that he has to work through from the moment you were born in relationship to you. And
I, I don't know what it is,
there's
but
that scripture,
try.
and it hit me like a ton of bricks that I recently read. I'm doing a Bible study with my sisters, and it was the Beatitudes. And the scripture just pray for those who despitefully use you, bless those who persecute you and who despitefully use you. And it hit me so hard for the first time. We go through Bible study, you go through when you're a kid, children's church, you go
Mm-hmm.
through teen youth group and all that, and you hear this beatitudes, beatitudes, beatitudes. But when I'm 38 years old is whenever it hits me. I was like, whoa, all the people that did me dirty, instead of me being mad and venting, I was supposed to pray for them. Ugh. I mean, that's hard. That's hard
Uh-huh.
to take in, right? But you talked about forgiveness, but are we
It's
like,
hard.
ugh, that's so hard. But I'm just, that's all I'm going to say. It was a scripture that hit me. It might not
It's
hit
hard
you,
when
but it hit
somebody's,
me.
yeah, it's
But I'll, yeah.
It's hard to pray for someone that's
Yeah,
hurt you to that extent, and you are supposed to pray for them and wish them well, and it is hard. It is hard. It's not
it's
somebody stole
very
your pocket
hard.
money. Somebody really just a whole parent wasn't there.
Right, right. And like we said, research shows that we need both. But let's not dwell on him. Let's focus on you because
Yeah.
we know that both can exist, that you can be healing and you can
Yeah.
still be nailing this parenting thing. And that's what you've done. You have a 25-year-old, and how old is your other son?
He's 23, and they are amazing. My
23.
oldest will be graduating with his bachelor's in film and arts in May, and then my youngest is a assistant gym teacher with the public school where I live at. So they are great kids. I have great relationships with them, and we're
Awesome.
close. And they're close to their dad. We're really tight knit, and it makes me super happy that I didn't have my kids in a broken home. I always wanted them to have both parents, and that is something that I'm blessed that I was able to do for them.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I did pick up whenever you said you did get married and you had an amazing husband who wanted kids, which you said you were petrified at first. But once you had your son, you said, once I saw my child, there was no way I was going to abandon him. And I love that because you just fell in love so fast with this creature, this being that I've created with this
Yeah.
wonderful man. And I love that you have been able to take this hurt, but cultivate this feeling of structure, this family, this wholeness into your home. And you have the results, the outcome that your kids are thriving and you are thriving. And I'm excited about your children's book
Yeah.
publishing company um, because I know there's power in the books that you're putting out there because of the stories that you can tell to make sure that you are empowering our kids. So
Yes.
I
That is,
thank you.
yes. Thank you.
I thank
Thank
you
you.
for the purpose that you're walking in. You're so welcome. Um, Yeah. So we're definitely coming down to the wire. We could have, I feel like I may have spent too much time asking about the absent father and the healing part because I really should have talked about the family part
No,
a
I
little bit
mean,
longer. But we are,
no, it's fine. It's good for me to get it out, it's in these ways is to talk about it. And that's another form of healing, talking about it, getting it out. Because when you're in these things, you think like, oh, I'm the only person who's still struggling, in their adulthood, but I'm truly not. So if my
you're
sharing my
definitely not.
story can help someone else, I'm
You are
glad to
definitely
talk
not.
about it
And I'm
and be
finding,
transparent.
yeah, and I appreciate it. Like I said, thank you for coming on and being vulnerable in our space. It is important. Your story is important. Um, yeah, I'm excited to hear what the letter to your younger self looks like. So we are definitely going to stay in touch, but we were
Yeah.
already planning on staying in touch anyway. So we are going to move to the next
Anyway,
segment of our show, and then we're going to come back. We're going to come back later because I know you've got some words of encouragement for our listeners today. So
yes, ma'am, I do. I
it is
do.
time, Paula. It is time for tea time. Let me get my timer on the screen so
Okay.
you can see it. All right. Tea time is a game of rapid fire. I have a bucket full of questions. Some of them are deep, some of them are just for fun. And Paula will have 3 minutes to answer as many questions as she can in just that little bit of time. But guess what? We get to get a little bit more insight into who she is today. We get a little bit of laughter, a little bit more deep, and I'm excited. Paula, are you ready to play the game?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Awesome. All right. 3 minutes on the clock. And the first question: what small things bring you joy?
Small things that bring me joy. When my sons come up and give me a hug because they're so old now that they don't like to be hugged. So when they just randomly give me a hug, it's everything.
I believe that. Which emoji do you use the most?
Laughing emoji, laughing out loud emoji.
Where's your dream vacation spot?
St. Martin's.
Yes, I hear that one a lot. What smell instantly makes you happy?
I love it. Coffee.
You are ready to rock. Oh, yes, girl. Yes.
Coffee,
What is the
definitely.
last TV show or movie you binge watched?
um, Tabitha Takeover. Tabitha Salon Takeover.
Okay, I don't know that one. If you had to do it all again, would you?
Yes.
Woo! What's your favorite way to unwind after a long day?
Um, sit on my couch and watch crime documentaries.
What's the title of your biopic?
um, she overcame.
Ooh, yes. Okay. If fear wasn't a factor, what dream would you chase right now?
To have a TED Talk, to be a main speaker for my own
I'm
TED
down
Talk.
with it. I think you can do it. What's your guilty pleasure?
Watching crime documentaries.
What season of life are you in right now, and what is it teaching you?
Season of life I'm in right now is protecting my peace and protecting my peace. That's it.
I love those answers so much. Um, when I tell you we have so much in common, it might be problematic. I'm wondering, do we have the same thing? No. Are we
Right?
upside on? No. um, coffee, crime shows, probably St. Martin's, but I don't know if it's
I
Dream
love me
Vacation.
some
It's just
crime.
so much, just so much. It's bad. It's so bad.
Yeah,
Do
me
you
and my
watch
crime.
the ones on YouTube? It's
Girl.
bad.
YouTube is what I watch all the time for crime stuff. It's either like I'm watching like, police arrests, car chases. Love me a good crime documentary though. Anything First 48,
Yes.
I'm in it. I'm in it. I love
Yep.
it. Like that is my favorite thing to do.
That's
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 it.
how I unwind at night. That's probably not a good way to do it, but it is
Yes.
what it is. So
Probably not, but I'm probably
um,
after this, I'm probably gonna go out there and watch something with crime in it. So I just enjoy it. I don't
Me
know what it
too.
is. Maybe I wanted to be a police officer or something in my former life, but I love them so much.
So
Love them.
I wanted to be a lawyer or an investigator. So yes. And I'm always trying to figure, well, I mean, I think we
I
all
wanted to be a
are
lawyer.
always trying to find the clues before they, yeah. See, look at you. I told you. We're cousins. We're cousins. That's what it is.
I'm gonna ask
Um,
questions. We're
well,
cousins. Well, I want to ask questions.
yeah,
I'm asking. I'm asking. I'm trying to find stuff. Yeah, I'm. That is my thing to do. Don't get me. Don't
all
get
of
me.
it.
Don't mess with me with a good time.
All
Cup
of
of
it.
coffee and a crime documentary. I am good. Good
That's like,
money over
oh my
here with
God.
that.
Let's do it. Okay. Well, again, I want to thank you
Yes.
for coming to the show. It was truly a pleasure just to hear your voice and hear your story. And I
Thank
don't
you.
want to go without giving you back the floor. You're so welcome. I want to give you back the floor so that you can share any words of encouragement or inspiration to any of our listeners who are in the business of caregiving, or even if they're just here to support you as their friend. So I'm going to fall back and give you back the mic so you can share any words of encouragement.
I would love to tell everyone who's watching or listening that even though you have been through or dealing with a wound or hurt that someone has caused you, it's okay. You'll be okay. And a lot of us think that we can't be hurt and be a great parent at the same time. You absolutely can. I am living proof that it is possible. So continue to pour into yourself, continue to give yourself grace, continue to heal those wounds, acknowledge those wounds, talk about those wounds, even if you're journaling, because those things are going to help you get through. And you may think that they're small, but they're not. You need to acknowledge whatever is hurting you because it's going to make you a better mother. It's going to bring you closer to your children once you let that hurt and that pain go. So I just encourage you all to give yourself grace. I say that a lot because I used to not give myself grace. Give yourself grace and heal and take your time healing. But at the same time, still love on your children, still give them the love that you wish you had or that you didn't have. Um, and just continue to keep living, keep loving, um, because life is too short to sit and wallow in pain and being mad. Heal from it and still live.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing those powerful words of encouragement. Um, what is next for you, and how can listeners connect with you after today's episode?
For me, I'm just living. I'm enjoying this time of my life. As I said, my sons are older. They have their own lives they're living. So it has given me the opportunity to do things that I wasn't able to do before. Become an author, become a publisher, um, speak at events, be passionate about helping children build up their voice, helping parents, teaching them how to nurture their child's voice, to bring out their story. And the sky's the limit. I'm writing, I'm, creating resources for parents, and it's a wonderful thing. So that is what I'm doing. I'm just doing whatever God puts into me to do. He's using me, and I'm here to be used by Him. But if you want to connect with me, you can connect with me. I am on social media. Instagram is author Paula Banks, and I'm also on Instagram at Lit Kids Create. That's LIT kids create. Um, and then on Facebook, I am under Paula Watkins Banks. Um, and my website is www.eionbooks.com. And my author website is paulaYbanks.com. And my email is contact@paulaYbanks.com. And you can reach me on any of those options there.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing all of the contacts, the ways we can contact you. I will make sure that this is all included in the description for the show. So, listeners, please make sure that you are clicking on the
Okay.
links or copying the hyperlink. If this is YouTube that you are watching on, to make sure that you can connect. We definitely want to support Paula's businesses and follow her on IG and Facebook so that we can grow her purpose. We thank you again for being here. But before we go, there are 3 questions that I ask every parent who comes through the Nailed It Motherhood door. So today's not going to be any different. We're going to ask you the
Okay.
same because I like to collect the data and see if all of us parents are kind of on the same boat. So my first question for you
Okay.
is parenting hard?
Yes.
But are they still standing?
Yes, they are still standing and thriving. They are definitely still standing.
Standing proud and tall and coaching and all that jazz, huh?
Yes.
What do you want to proudly tell our guests today?
I will proudly say that this mama is nailing it without a doubt.
Nailing it. That is Paula Banks, and this mama is nailing it. If you like this episode and you want to hear more real, raw, and personal parenting journeys like that of Paula's, please make sure you subscribe to my social media at Nailed It Motherhood Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. We're also working on our TikTok. Just pray for me because I'm still working on it. But don't forget to follow us on your favorite podcast platform as well so that you never miss an episode. Don't forget to shop at all things Nailed It Motherhood at our brand new Nailed It Motherhood shop, where you can grab This Mama is Nailing It self-care journals, merch, and more to support your parenting journey. We welcome your questions, your comments, and your ideas, and we definitely hope to keep the conversation going. Until next time, keep on doing what it is you do. Smooches.